Hello! I have 3 things to show you today. It is Tuesday, March 27th, I believe. 24th. March 24th, 2020. I'm working from home now, so I keep sort of my regular work hours during the day. But it does mean that I can stitch during my breaks, and then obviously the rest of the time as well that I'm not working. So I have 2 WIPGO projects for March, and I'm going to show those to you first, and then I'll show you the little extra thing I did. So my first WIPGO goal this month, and I'm not entirely sure I'll make the goal, but that's okay. I can try some other time or try to catch up a different time. It's called Tulips. Now the real one is actually in color, and the tulip itself, there's a lot of pinks and oranges in here. But so far I've been working on this corner. Yeah, I do not yet have a page finished by any means, but I do have, let me just straighten out the threads. I have a corner. So there you go. So this little blotch of red here-ish is what's going to be the edge of a flower. I gridded this part a long time ago, and I'm very glad I did. This is a chart by Rolanda Dueck Photography. It's a friend of mine, and she converted some of her photos into cross-stitch charts. They're available on her Etsy shop. If it's still open, I will link it below. And I'm kind of learning how I like to stitch full coverage. So as you can see, I'm trying to do a diagonal thing here. And within the diagonal, I've been going back and forth because it's so tiny that if I do cross country, I find it to be difficult to stitch. So here's my back so far, and it's crazy, like most backs of Haids are. Well, this isn't a Haid, but you know, full coverage. But it's not lumpy. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the only thing that matters. I've been doing waist knots, which is why these are stuck way over here. So if I feel it, it's definitely, it's a lot of threads going every which way, but there are no big bumps. So I'm not worried about when it comes time to framing, I'm not worried that it's gonna be ugly on the front. So that is Spring Tulip. Now, the other thing I've been working on, my other WIPGO project, is Winter Sampler. It's a Kooler design studio. Nope, is it Kooler? No, it's Janlin. There we go. Sorry about the light. It's a very cloudy, hazy day here today, and I'm still figuring out angles and things. I've got my curtains pulled. It's an interesting light though, and my window faces due west. So given the time of day, the sun is kind of trying to shine through there. So this is the chart. I already had some of this done. I had this boot and the heart motif done, more or less. And my goal was to complete 2 motifs. Now I had already done some of this kind of vintage ski poster type thing. So I finished, you'll see, but I finished the cross stitching in here, and I have begun the back stitching. And then this, I don't think I had done any of these bells. So I put in that ribbon of bells and back stitched it. I'm really enjoying this stitch. It's one of those ones that, because there are so many small motifs, you get really motivated to continue because you keep hitting these small finishes. These are crazy detailed, but so there she is, skiing down the mountainside with the sun glowing. Sunlight glowing. There's my back stitching thread. There are a few blended colors in here. Now, it's a little tricky to see, if you can see the shine. I decided that I was going to stitch Kreinik in all the snow. And then I realized that when you put a blending filament in with this on the same needle as your DMC, the blending filament tends to disappear under the twist as you stitch. It's a little bit of a twist and the blending filament, at least in my case, tends to disappear. So what I've been doing is when I'm stitching snow, so all of this white here, the shadows of the snow, that all has a bit of blending filament in it, just a white, I'm not sure the exact number. So what I do is I have 2 needles going and I'll stitch 1/2 of the X and then come through with a blending filament so that the blending filament lays on top. And then I'll stitch the other 1/2 of the X and again come through with the blending filament, making sure it's lying on top. It's not too bad if I can go, you know, down a long row in one direction and then add the blending filament and then come back with the floss and add the blending filament. That doesn't always work though, it can get a bit tedious. So I'll just show you the rest of what I've stitched on this so far. Oh, turns out I've started this postcard snowman guy and a bit of that design and this village design back here. That'll look a lot more like something once the back stitching is in. And then I've got, sorry about the rustling. There we go. Yeah, so this will say winter, and I've been doing that whole blending filament thing here too. And then this band across the top, I just have 1 snowflake to fill in, and that also gets the blending filament. And then there's her. There's a bit of back stitching started. I don't like to back stitch until everything surrounding the back stitched area is complete, but I think I could back stitch these 2. We'll see. I don't have that much to do to finish my goal, so I'd like to do that and then work on my spring tulips, get that closer to where I was hoping to be. Now, I decided that I needed something short and fast and fun, and I came across this free pattern on Durene Jones's Facebook site. So I know that it's a truly free pattern and not just a pirated one. So this is I'm not entirely sure I'm saying it right. It's a word from French, but it's a Biscornu. It's 2 squares. If you've never seen or made one, it's literally 2 perfectly square pieces of fabric that you stitch. And when you stitch them together, you place the corner of your bottom piece directly in the center of one side of a top piece and then start to stitch around. So I had to add back stitching to the design in order to stitch it together, which I just added back stitching in the same color as the outside, the outline, the blue. The button, oh, and if you'd like the chart, I guess you would just need to join Durene Jones's Facebook group. She posted a color mock-up, she posted a black and white chart, and she posted a colored chart, all for free. And then what I did was I looked up 2 tutorials online, one by Peacock and Fig and one by Tiny Modernist, and I just watched them assemble Biscornus. And because I haven't shown you the bottom very much, there it is. And it was easy to follow their instructions. And then I found these tiny little buttons in my scrapbooking stash and used them. It's just filled with a regular sort of polyfill I don't know if I'll use it for a pincushion or if I'll just keep it for something fun and colorful. But I really love the pop of color. I don't often gravitate towards this color palette, but you know, just needed something fun to prick up my days. And she definitely uses a lot of fun color palettes. I'm getting this kind of, you know, the 80s hazy glamour shot thing going on here because of the way my lighting is. But I hope you can see. Let's see if I do that. There we go. I just finished this today. Washed it and ironed it last night. And I would definitely like to do more of these. It was just a ton of fun. I will link a bunch of stuff below. The Facebook group if I can. My friend's Etsy page, Rolanda Grace. The YouTube tutorials that I use to stitch this together. I'll link that all below so that you have access to it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Practice social distancing, as in SEWSIAL distancing. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to, you can like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you next time.